You're listening to the Dirt Racing Podcast.
Yes, you are listening to the Dirt Racing Podcast. This is the Ricky Thornton edition. That's going to be the main part of the show for the interview. As the sound quality might not be quite as good as normal, but it's the best is what I could do with the tape recorder because I wasn't sitting right next to them. I was sitting in the middle or to the back. So I got it the best as I could. So please just listen to it. Thank you. And we'll come back and wrap up the show after the interview.
But no, growing up, I always watched the Nationals, and it didn't matter if it was like miles or sprint cars. So it's one of those places I always wanted to come to. Never really thinking it was ever going to happen, let alone be able to race it and win at it. So I'm always excited when we get to come here. Hopefully the rest of the weekend good.
True or false? You lost the keys to the souvenir trailer, and by you I mean your family.
Well, that's false because Shay lost it.
Okay, never. Ricky, you haven't been married long enough. Never blame you. You take responsibility. She's not sure where they are, but I lost them would be the answer. But no, I wanted to pick at you about that. You're a student of the sport, of all types of racing, and we're going to talk more about that. But downstairs, do you have something favorite in the Hall of Fame? Something that, as you walk around, that really just always catches your eye?
I kind of like just checking out everything, really. It's hard to pinpoint one thing, but anytime you can go to any kind of Hall of Fame, it's cool to just check out all the different things that over time, how stuff's changed.
Yeah.
It's crazy, even just year to year, how much stuff changes, whether it's our cars or the equipment or this or that. So I like just seeing the nostalgia of everything.
Seeing those cars those guys strapped into in the early days, those sprint cars that became Indy cars, became whatever, does it blow your mind?
I feel like they got balls of steel. They'll hop on things, no roll cage, no nothing, and just get after it. Really, I mean, they had a helmet, but I wouldn't really consider it a helmet. So, I would say we're probably not as crazy as they were.
Oh man, I don't know. I've seen some of the moves you make, and I also know that you love to race everything under the sun. Your family, I know, obviously vested in racing, but when, what, why, and how? How does your first race ever happen?
Pretty much my mom and dad raced growing up. My dad kept racing once I was born. My mom actually stopped. Hard to tell my dad. My mom was actually a better race car driver than my dad. But once we had me and my younger brother Justin, my mom quit racing, so I never really got to watch her other than one race. There was a lady stock race. She won. Wrecked the person coming to the checker to make sure she won. But it's always been in my family. My mom's family race. They actually promoted Manzanita Speedway back in the day, so it's just kind of always been a big family thing, and I'm just glad we can continue it.
Are you telling me your mom might have been, in fact, the first Recky Thornton? You were not the first Recky Thornton. How about that? And again, I got questions here. We're going to have fun today. Then we're going to take some questions from you guys. Kind of got to be off the cuff. People start calling you Recky Thornton, and the next week you got a T-shirt.
You got to embrace it.
I love that.
The funniest part was, so I was actually racing in South Dakota, Park Jefferson. I slid the guy for the lead, won. Wasn't even close to the guy. Cleared it by 5 car lengths, and then a bunch of people on Facebook, of course, called me Recky, and I'm like, that's a heck of an idea. So then I came up with the shirt, was like, well, let's put duct tape on the shirt, put Recky on it, and heck, it's honestly still my bestseller.
I love that. That's a fantastic story. That's the kind of stuff you're going to get here today. You're out there racing IMC modified stock cars, everything else in Arizona. At what point does it kind of pop into your head, man, I can do this. I can do this for a living?
I played baseball for 10 years growing up, and I felt like I kind of got to the point where it was, where do you want to go to high school to continue that path? And I got kind of the point like, racing might be easier. Not that it's easier, but I don't know. I've always been a big fan ever since I was little. Obviously, played the track, but anytime played mods, sprint cars on the racetrack, I just tried to pay attention. And just the technical aspect of it is what draws me in. Just knowing every lap the track's changing, cars are changing. Like I said earlier, from year to year, everything's changing. Arizona, and I knew if I wanted to do it for a living, I was gonna have to leave. And at that point, I was with my ex-wife, and we actually moved to Iowa for a year. And I'm like, well, I'll give myself a year, and if I can do it and think I can make a career out of it, I'll continue. And was fortunate enough to have a lot of great people behind me and just kind of keep it going. And here we are today.
All right, let's play a little game. It's going to be fun. You are a team owner, and I'm going to say it first, second, third, fourth, and fifth times. You cannot drive. You cannot drive. I want to know, I got some divisions here. I want to know who Ricky Thornton Jr. puts in the race car. We're here at Knoxville, not Eldora. Somebody had said Eldora earlier. We're here at Knoxville. 410 wing sprint car. Who's your driver?
Probably Carson Macedo.
Carson Macedo. Why?
I feel like he's kind of like me. Like, not everyone loves him, but he's super aggressive and he's going to do what it takes.
All right, so Car Crash Macedo is going to be the T-shirt. There we go. All right, Carson, make that shirt. Give me $10 for it. All right, IMCA modified. Who and why?
Probably Dylan Thornton.
Oh, okay. Dilly.
And probably because same thing. He's super aggressive, but he doesn't really kill his equipment. He makes sure that if he has to run second, he'll run second. But if there's a shot to win, he's definitely going to try to win it.
All right, before nepotism, I cleared this with Ricky last year. Ricky confirmed it. Nobody believes me. You and Dylan Thornton, in fact, not related, right?
No, both West Coast guys, though.
All right, you guys both wear the same hat. You wear the sunglasses on there. You got some similar style West Coast. All right. Dustin Jarrett's favorite, the IMCA stock cars. Who and why?
I mean, it's got to be Dallin.
Dallin Murray, yeah.
There's no question there. I feel like he's definitely the next up-and-comer.
Yeah, so is he the next Ricky Thornton Jr.?
I think so.
I said that this week, and I believe it. You think so, too?
He's definitely good. And I feel like the more experience he gets outside the stock car stuff, whether it's like Mall and Mod, he's just going to continue to grow and get better.
And he's an animal. You talk to him in the pits, he's kind of even kill. You put that kid in the car, and he's an animal.
He is, for sure.
All right, we're going to come up with some kind of car crash, aggressive driver nickname for him. All right, USAC Midget.
That was tough. I feel like probably a Chase McDermott.
Okay.
Because he's not going to tear your stuff up, and the odds are he's got a really good shot to win.
And you got to pay for it, so you don't want to tear stuff up.
I mean, midgets are probably the most expensive car out there.
Hey, explain that. I don't think a lot of people understand that. I don't think they realize how pricey a midget is, and I think we specifically know why, but why is it?
I feel like everything's half the size but costs twice as much, and I'm not really sure why. Like their motors are anywhere from 60 to 100 grand depending on which one you go with. And everything's titanium, everything's carbon. Like it's small, but it almost reminds me of a micro, where it's the stepping stone to a sprint car. Well, normally it's a bunch of rich dads or grandpas or whatever, so they pay whatever they got to pay to get to that next step.
And a midget engine runs about what? A top of the line Toyota engine runs what?
I want to say they're roughly about 100.
I'm going to tell my wife when she looks at the credit card bill next why it's so much. I'm going to go half the size, so it costs twice as much. That's what I'm going to roll with that. Ricky, you've driven all of these. Which is the most challenging to drive for Ricky Thornton Jr.?
Probably the wing sprint car. Only because every car I've ever drove, if you get tight or whatever, you slow down, lift, hit the brake, whatever. Well, the sprint car, if you lift, you're going to wreck. So I would say for me, that's probably the hardest one.
Which one do you have the most fun in?
The stock car. 100%.
The stock car?
I feel like stock car is still, if your car's not perfect, you can kind of make up for it. Where the late model, the sprint car, whatever, your car's got to be really good for you to be really good.
Is there something, and we're going to talk about pavement later, something dirt related you have not raced yet that you want to?
Surprisingly, I ran everything other than a 410 non-wing car, which I'm doing in October.
Right.
But other than that, I think I've ran about everything on dirt.
You're going to do that at the Western World, is that right? Out at Central Arizona?
Yep.
It's full circle for you, man. What does that mean to you? From where the roots started to coming back there in a wingless 410 sprint, what does that mean to you?
It's pretty cool. Obviously, anytime you can get out and do that stuff, it's special. My first 360 non-wing start was actually at Central Arizona, so I know my mom's not too big about it because she hates sprint cars, but I love doing it. I think the more you can get in different cars, the better you're going to be.
All right. Again, we're continuing here with Ricky Thornton Jr. We're here at Knoxville Raceway. I'd like to say it's the dumbest thing I've said today, but you haven't been in these meetings I've been in. kind of sets the tone. All right. Some of the people here don't know, some do. You're an avid fan of the sport. How many hours a week do you think you spend watching racing when you're not at the track?
Well, last night I watched all of Eldora. After I left
Four Crown? Yeah.
Four Crown. The Hayden Rifle won the midget race.
Yep.
The first USAC midget win. So that was pretty cool. I don't know. I would say probably 20, 30 hours a week. Whether it's, I love F1, I love NASCAR, I love road course, I love all the dirt. So there's a lot you can learn just watching.
That's what I was going to say. Do you think now to be a successful driver, you've got to put in that homework and watch what other people are doing?
I think so. It's almost like if you're at a football meeting setting up for the next team, just there's so much little things you can learn. Like even last night, the way the track was, anyone that was too tight on entry wasn't very good early in the night. They weren't very good late in the night. And just you learn so many different things that you can apply, whether it's your car or a different car. I was here earlier this year for the Capitana, and everyone that really had a free race car qualified really well. So we went really free last night. I qualified really well.
All right, so if you're watching obviously if you're watching a late model, if you're going back and watching that, you're paying attention to how the cars behave, the attitude, what the drivers are doing. Are you also, when you're watching the Silver Crown, when you're watching the Four Crown Nationals last night from Eldora, are you watching to see what those guys are doing for the next time you get in one of those cars, or are you just watching it merely as a fan?
A little bit of both. Obviously, a big fan, but you cheer for certain people. So I mean, it's no different than everyone else. But at the same time, knowing the Rhineville Underwood team was really good there, I'm like, man, next time I get in their car, I know they got a really good car still. So, but there's different things you can learn. Hayden actually won running right across the middle of the racetrack was where we ran for the world. So I think you can learn different styles for different track conditions. Like it was a little bit muddier last night than it typically is there, and their cars reacted one way. And most of the time when we go to a place like that, our cars would be pretty similar.
What do you think it would have impacted? Obviously, Kyle Larson, he's a student. When I talk to him, he's always, when he's going to a track he's never been to, he's watching hours and hours before he gets there to look for tendencies. Last year at Brownstown, I was with Bobby Pierce, and before they were in the pit area, he was literally watching the Jackson 100 from the year before in his hauler an hour before the driver's meeting. What do you think it would have changed the careers of the Tony Stewarts, the A.J. Foyts, the Mario Andretti's if they had access to all this information? Because obviously these guys are pioneers. What do you think? Do you think it would have changed the direction where the sport is today if those guys could have been studying what other guys were doing in other parts of the world?
I think so, a little bit. Just they could have watched and seen, like I said, different racetracks, conditions, cars. I mean, those guys all drove much different cars too. So I think not that they needed to be any better, but I think they could have been a lot better. Where not at the end of the night, I think no matter what, if you're good, you're going to figure out by the end of the night. But I think just unloading right out of the trailer, those guys could have been that little bit much more better.
That's a good answer. You win your first World 100 a few weeks ago at Eldora, where we are not today. We are in Knoxville. You win your first World 100, pulling into victory lane that night. Does it feel at that moment? Does it feel like every other victory lane, or what's going through your mind?
Excitement. The tough part for me, and only because it happened at Wheatland. Normally, as soon as you get to the checker, you're excited, you're pumped. Well, I try not to get excited until after I do scales, get through Drew. But the part to me that makes me feel good is the minute that happens, watching your crew. They're more excited than anyone there, and it makes you feel good as a driver because not only are you living your dream, but you're living their dream too. So it definitely one of those. You hope you have a shot to win one of those big races, and to do it, nothing will ever change it.
Was it unfair leading into that event? And like a big dummy, I was interviewed on a video cast with Michael Rigsby before the event, and he said, "Can Ricky Thornton Jr. do it?" And I said, "He's going to be mad at me, but history says no." I said, "He hasn't had a lot of luck." And I said, "Now he's getting hot at the right time, but I just don't think it's his year. And of course you win." So I look dumb again. Does that stuff bother you when you're going in and everybody's saying Bobby Pierce, Jonathan Davenport, and they're not picking you? Does that bother you? Does it inspire you? Do you care at all?
I wouldn't say it bothers me, but I actually almost enjoy it better because then it's like you're not really an underdog, but they're not expecting stuff to happen. Like expect the unexpected almost. So I don't know. I feel like for me, I try to win every race I'm at. So whether you feel like you're the favorite going in or not, no matter what, you're not. Something can happen that's out of your control. So you just try to do your best, and if you can prove people wrong, prove them wrong.
Do you savor a win like that, or are you already worried about the next win?
The hard part for me is I'm never satisfied. So I've won a lot of races and I've lost way more. So obviously when we get back there, it'll be different knowing, hey, last time we were here, we were able to get it done. So we race so much, there really isn't a whole lot of time to be able to savor it.
Eldora and Knoxville, obviously two totally different racetracks. Which one is more challenging for you?
For me, I feel like it's probably here at Knoxville, and the reason why is the track's wide, but you really got to have a really good race car. And I feel like at Eldora, you can air block, but there's enough racetrack where you can kind of get away from the car in front of you. Where here, everyone migrates to the wall down the straightaway and then turns back into the corner. Where Eldora, you don't really swing all the way out. So I think here, just you can aero block a guy more. So that makes it a little bit more challenging. Like last night, I feel like the top actually might have been a little bit better than the bottom, but the way we all run, it's hard to enter up top and not have a break right in front of you.
Last night, obviously, the racetrack was aggressive. You see some guys get upside down. From the driver's seat, we have these red flags. How do you stay focused and are you seeing what's happening with other people? How is that impacting your game plan for the rest of the race?
I think the biggest thing, whenever stuff happens right away, luckily, Schwally and them can get to the drivers, and the racetrack's really good about getting to the drivers, and they radio us to let us know they're okay right away. So anytime you have a big wreck, like whether it was Brian or it was Bruning in turn 3 or Hud and Carson in 1 and 2, you know that risk is there, and I would say we wouldn't be a professional race car driver if it made you slow down. Obviously, you want to go out and run as hard as you can every lap and just kind of take that risk.
Recce Thornton Jr., right? Recce Thornton Jr., I like it. What's a misconception you think fans who don't know you have about you? You might have a few. If we need to mark the calendar clear for the next hour, get ready. Here he comes. No, give me something that you think is unfair that maybe you see said a lot about you.
I wouldn't even say so much just about me, just in general. Like everyone thinks we're all assholes, and I feel like most of the time, whenever someone talks bad about a person, they don't really know that person. So like, there's been a lot of times like I'll even have people come up and be like, man, I thought you were really this way. Then I come up, talk to you, you played with my kids, you sign stuff, you take pictures with us, and I just feel like that aspect of it, you see someone on TV or how they drive, and you almost get a false reading on it.
And recognizing some people that if you just dispel one thing they think about you, they're just going to find something else. They're not going to like you, and I think you get it. You embrace this part of the sport that we need the people that like you and the people that don't. That's what makes our sport so cool, and I think it's kind of fun. Do you sometimes some of these one-liners you dropped on me in the past year or two? Like when you think rocketed Houston's when I was interviewing you, that got a lot of people talking. You just drive around and go, hey, what am I going to do to just poke the bear a little bit? Is it a in the moment deal for you?
A little bit of both. Me and my partner Bobby, we actually talked a lot about little stuff like that, and it's not even so much like to take away from anyone. Like the rocket deal is nothing to take away from Longhorn. Well, everyone kept saying we were switching to rocket, so it's like, hey, why don't we just drop this little out here and be like, oh, hey, I screwed that up. But like at the same time, you get a ton of publicity off of it. So we look at it that way too. It's like even though you didn't wreck a guy or something like that, you still gain a bunch of fans off of random stuff like that.
So let me tell you about this turd right here. So we're in Houston. I interview him, and he goes, Carl's real good. I want to thank Longhorn. 5 minutes later, he texts me from the holler, hey, how'd you like that one? And I'm like, well, you broke the internet. Everybody's running with it, So, and that is what I love, the personalities. I know, the drivers get in trouble. Hell, the announcers, we get in trouble sometimes. But I love the personality of what we have. And I think that's the only other thing, along those lines. I think people think once you guys, and you might confirm it, you might deny it, I think once you get into an on-track deal with somebody one time, they assume, well, they're enemies for life. We had you and Bobby Pierce deal last year at Macon, but then, a month later, you're congratulating him in victory lane, you're just second. Do you hold grudges? Do you let it go?
A little bit of both. It's kind of the same thing with me and JD. Like, everyone thinks we hate each other. Like, I'm not his best friend, but if there's something wrong, I'm going to help him. It's no different. Last night, we're on the front straightaway, and he pulls up next to me. He's looking at my right front and telling me, like, no, you're good to go. And stuff like that. Like, obviously, there's guys you don't like to race with or you race hard against, but you just learn different ways to be around those people. And other than that, like, there's a lot of guys I love and very few that I hate. So.
Okay. All right, so the guys that you hate, no, I'm not going to do that to you. You talk about the Kohler family. We're gonna lead into that. The past handful of years, Arizona to Iowa, briefly to Indiana, back to Iowa. As a family, when you get through the ups and downs of all this, you got kids, man. You got a lot of people depending on you. How scary is it when something changes in the blink of an eye?
Really scary, honestly. But the biggest thing is you can't let them know that. Obviously, no matter what, you got to stand and make sure that they think everything's going to be okay. Whether you don't know if it is or not, as long as you got them thinking that it is, then you try your hardest. Obviously, like whenever everything went down last year, you try to surround yourself with a bunch of great people, and I've been fortunate that we really have. And you try to keep moving forward and try to make the best decisions that you can.
So peek behind the curtain, because you guys are here today. Last July, I'm leaving my house in Memphis. We got a flow racing night in America event the next night, Lincoln, Illinois. I am 10 minutes from the house. Man, I guess on a Monday or Sunday, I think actually. And Ricky texted me. He's like, "Hey, do you have anybody's car I can drive this week?" And I was like, "Well, can you not make it?" He goes, "Well, I don't have a ride." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So I text Anthony Burroughs, crew chief at the time, and I'm like, "Why is Ricky doing this to me?" And Anthony doesn't respond. I'm like, "Huh." So I text Ricky back. I'm like, "Are you serious?" He goes, "Yeah, we decided to go separate ways with SSI." Now, at the time, he's just won 30,000 of Muskegon the night before. He's leading the Lucas Oil points. He's leading my series points. And, I literally an hour later pulled over in Arkansas on I-55 at a truck stop and wrote the press release that broke the internet last year. Bobby Kohler, as soon as I did that, sends me a text. I'm talking about within a minute. And he goes, "Hey, do you think Ricky would take a phone call from me?" I'm like, "He absolutely would." And he did. But in that second, when you go from being on top of the world, you're winning everything, do you have a fear of, my God, this could take years to get back to a position like this?
Oh, 100%. And really, I didn't know if something like that ever happened. You never know how many people are actually in your corner. And the amount of people that reached out and was like, "Hey, we can get you going. Like, we can get through the next couple weeks and figure out just whatever we need to do." It almost made you feel good that you met a lot of friends along the way, but that you're almost doing it the right way. So I feel like there was so many people that were going to be with me no matter what, whether I was there or somewhere else, and it just made me feel special.
So July 7th, this all goes down. Bobby Kohler reaches out. He calls you. We said that's in 2024, obviously. We sit here September 19th, 2025. In your wildest dream, would you have dreamed that this path with the Kohlers would take you to where you're at today?
It was a dream, honestly. And really what led me to be with him was, it wasn't, "Hey, we can get you through this week or next week." It's, "Hey, let's get through the year. We'll worry about next year when we get to that point." And it kind of just validated me, like, he's serious enough. You don't care what it's cost, what we got to do. He wants to get us through the year. And I'm like, anyone that's willing to do that, not knowing me, like, I talked to him one time with earlier last year. But, like, other than that, like, I was a Joe Blow to him. And for him to take me in like he has, it's truly incredible.
All right. He told you beginning of the year, I want to win the World 100. And you guys built a car just for Eldora. And as you're going through the scales and you're pulling to the stage, is that going through your mind that, holy crap, we did this for the guy that believed in me?
He's told me from day one that was the one race he wanted to win. It didn't matter if it took 20 years to do it. That was the one he wanted to win. Like I said, we built a brand new car, and really that car's been ready for a while, and we just never really had the chance to get it out, and we were able to get it out for the Baltish race, and it was really good, and seeing his smile and his hug, and I don't know if you could ever replace that.
All right, so we've seen JD. He puts that car in mothballs every year for Eldora. Is this now the Eldora car? Do we see it anywhere else?
I don't know. We've actually talked about bringing it up to Pittsburgh. As of now, it's next race to be Eldora. But I pulled all the body off it, put on this car, and other than that, motor and everything's in it, ready to go. I know we're going to go home after Brownstown, and it's about 7 hours back to the shop. And kind of decide then if we bring that car out, or if the car I'm running now, we've ran all year. It's been a really good car, but I don't know something about that one. But at the same time, you don't want to screw it up, so we'll kind of just wait and see.
Do you think it's more driver, or do you think it's just maybe just the way the weld is done different? You hear guys say that back-to-back cars off assembly are just not the same. That they all got their characteristics. True or false? Is it more in your head, or are these cars that much different?
I mean, every car is a little bit different. It's just how long are you willing to wait to figure out that exact car? It might be 2 or 3 races, or it might be 20 races before you figure out exactly what you need. I think a lot of it's more in people's heads at the same time. If they think they got a bad car, the odds are they're probably not going to be 100%. If you think you got a winning car, the best car out here, I think you're going to give your full 120%. And I feel like we got 3 cars at our shop, and I think all 3 of them we can unload and be just as competitive as the other one.
All right, back to the Kohler line of thinking. And I think this is maybe, and I'm putting 2 and 2 together, maybe this is why you and Bobby, and of course this is why Jessica's amazing, maybe why you're such a good fit, because the day after you win the Lucas Oil Championship last year, I think I've been back in Memphis like 20 minutes Sunday morning. He just landed, he calls me and he goes, man, I just want to thank you for connecting us. And if you guys don't ever get to talk to Bobby Kohler, and if he's at the track, thank him, because he does a lot for the sport. One of the most genuine people you'll ever meet. And he called to thank me. I was like, dude, you're the one that, made it all happen. But he goes, I've already told Ricky next year we're going to win that Lucas title. We're going to do it start to finish with this team. Well, now you're the Midwest Sheet Metal point leader right now. And I want to know, after tomorrow night, the points get reset, 5-race showdown this year. Do you have the team to do it? Should people be betting on Ricky Thornton Jr.?
I really think so. We've worked really hard this year on our motor program and our shock program, cars, and this and that, just trying to be the best we can. And I'd say the last night might have hurt us a little bit, as far as just the feature, knowing, hey, we got a lot really coming up. It's a prelim night. Like, do you get up top and get crazy, or do you just kind of, hey, we'll finish 4th, 5th, 6th, and put ourselves good come Saturday? But I feel like as a team, Zach Fields came over very into last year, and then we got Skylar Cooper that's doing tires, and we actually got Berkey.
I saw Burkhofer down there the rest of the year.
He's going to finish out the Lucas season with us.
Really? Breaking news, guys.
Yeah. Which we figured if he could come and just help us, and not so much him be like a crew chief or anything like that, and just a general really good guy, just because you never know what's going to happen on these races. And I mean, you might red lap one after it plays the whole right front and get back on the racetrack and stuff like that. But I feel like as a whole, we didn't have a whole lot of parts last year going through playoffs and stuff like that. We just kind of got lucky where this year I feel like our trailer's fully stocked. Our guys are regrouped. Like, we're excited. Obviously, winning the points last year was awesome for me, but I know for Bob, he feels like he only had part in it. Where this year, if we can get it done, he was there start to finish. It's all his hard work, and hopefully we can just not let him down.
Championship, 1 race last year, winner take all at Eldora. This year it's 5 races. Which way do you prefer? I know you worked out last year, but as a driver, which one do you think you like better?
I mean, I'd rather race all year, but I think at least this year with them changing it where it's 5 races and then each point win being bonus points, I feel like that's going to be crucial. Just depending on what happens Saturday, we'll have a 70-point lead going into the playoffs, and I feel like at least they're doing something to make you race harder every week to try to get a win. Just because if you know what you are in the playoffs, then you have that little bit extra cushion.
All right, you've done all this stuff on dirt. You admitted earlier you're like NASCAR, F1. What are your aspirations? What divisions away from dirt? Now, we're going to make you sign an agreement today that you're not leaving dirt altogether. You're going to run roughly 100 races a year on dirt. But what are your aspirations? Where would you like to go with your career as you progress into the next 5 years?
Kind of the crazy part, like growing up, I wanted to be a NASCAR driver, but then realistically, expectations, I want to be exactly where I'm at now, a full-time late model guy, sprinkle in some other stuff, and just try to race as much as I can. Obviously, if this is as far as I can get, I'm totally fine with that. I know I want to run some asphalt stuff, but I don't think I'd want to do it full time. I think if we could run a truck or an Xfinity car here and there, I think it'd be pretty cool.
Ultimate destination would be what, though? If we're sitting 5 years from now, we bring you back here, and you come from anywhere in the world. In your dream, where do you sit 5 years from now? What does your racing program look like?
Heck, I don't know.
Because Jeff Hooker's going to pay for it. Whatever you want to do, we got Hooker Trucks going to pay for anything.
I feel like the ultimate form of motorsports is F1. So, like, I think it's
Why?
just they race all over the world, and everything's so technical. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to the technical aspect of everything, so I think that would be kind of technical.
I think F1 needs a guy like you. Now, I don't want you to go all over the world because you probably wouldn't be in Knoxville this weekend, but on the family aspect, it's don't give Shay too hard of a time for losing those keys. I watch Shay coming to victory lane. Those kids are getting ready to eat confetti. I mean, she's like an octopus. She's got like 12 arms, keeping everything in tow. It's a lot of fun, but now they're getting older, and now school, and like the World 100, you didn't have them there with you. How hard is it now when they can't be there every night?
I've been very fortunate that they've been to 99% of the races the last 5-6 years, and them not to be in Eldora kind of sucked. To have one of those big special wins like that, not having it there, it was tough. But like the nice part of this week's, my new house is only 35 minutes from here, so they were here last night. They'll be here tonight. They'll be here tomorrow, and at the same time, it's kind of nice to have a place I can finally call like. This should be my forever home, hopefully. And I don't know, like I ran Hooker's stock car at Fort Dodge a few weeks ago. I went home every night, took him to school every morning, and turned around right back on the road to go up there. And it was no different than last night. Like we got done last night, went home, took the boys to school this morning. She actually came here about 8 o'clock, and so it was me and Hadley. We had a road trip here to about 9:30 or so, and I don't know if I hope they always love racing as much as they do now. Obviously, I grew up around racing. They grew up around racing. That's about all they know. So hopefully we can stay involved.
What does this look like in the drop-off lane? Like I want you to be in like a soccer mom minivan, but what does it look like? What are we taking the kids to school in?
So I got a Traversa I just bought. Usually didn't have her. Shay's got a Wagoneer, so. The craziest part is at school they're like the shyest, like well-behaved kids I've ever seen. Like I don't know what happens once they get out of school. Like they're wild as can be at the racetrack. They're wild, but at the same time, it's nice that they are young, but they understand like at certain times you gotta act a certain way.
No, that is. I mean, so I've got to know. I feel like you're feeling as a parent. There are confetti cupcakes in the lunchbox every day, right?
I've thought about it actually.
How hard is it as somebody that likes to win and go fast? I'm stuck on this drop-off lane. How impatient are you? Are you cutting people off? Are there slide jobs? What's happening?
The crazy part is I feel like I drive like an old lady out on the road. And I don't know, I guess because I race so often. Like I try not to race or go anything crazy on the road. I'm probably on my phone way too much. But I don't know, like you get to the drop-off lane and you're like, you kind of laugh because like you see things happen and you're like, well, that kid they could have got out of their car like 2 cars ago. It's like everyone waits to get to the front door to let their kid out. And I'm like, well, if my kid can't walk 30 steps, like, I feel like I'm kind of doing something wrong here.
Well, you're dead to me. You have like a little number on the window. If yours is not 20 RT on your drop-off vehicle, actually, I like if you requested 49 because you're going to be Jonathan Davenport of the drop-off lane. So what happens in 15? But in the world we live in now, 10 years from now when the boys want to race, how do we manage this? And the girls, I mean, you talked about it. How it might be that she might be the talent in the family. How do you manage this?
The tough part is I had a junior sprint for a little over a year. We went and practiced 3 or 4 times, but I would say the part that probably kills me is I want to be the one to teach them.
Yeah.
But the problem is I don't ever have time. So I know it's going to turn into the point where my brother or my dad or I'm going to have to pay someone to essentially be racing them. Where I feel like that'll be the toughest part on me is I feel like my dad is along for my whole journey. He's here this weekend, so I know eventually they're going to start racing, and I'm not going to be a huge part of it, and it'll probably suck, but hopefully I can do the right things to make their racing career easier.
Early in his career, obviously Hudson's out there with Don. Don's going to race next week at Brownstown. Can you imagine? Your boys being on the track with you. Can you imagine? I mean, because it's not that far away. Realistically, it could be a thing. Can you imagine what that feeling would be like that first time?
I think it'd be awesome. Like, me and my dad raced probably a handful of times together. Me and my brothers have raced a ton together, but it's one of those, it don't matter if you're running 15th or you're down for the lead. Like, you don't want to lose to them.
I like the thought of Hadley just smoking all you guys. In 13, again, when you won this race back in 2030, you swept it. Only one other guy's ever done that, Billy Moyer. You've done a lot of things now Billy Moyer's done, but to come here to a place like this and win all 3 nights, they bring you that broom to victory lane as a guy that's a student of the sport. And yeah, I know you'd probably rather be there in the Knoxville Sprint Car Nationals, but what do you remember about that weekend? And for you, what did that signify in your career?
This place is just so hard to win at one race, let alone the whole weekend. And me and Jay were actually talking about that last night. Anytime you can do something like that, it don't matter if it's here or anywhere, it just shows how really good your team is, how good you are as a driver, how good your car is. Just everything's got to play right. And I remember it's kind of the same thing. I get off the scales, I get in victory lane, the kids are there, Shay's there. Just the excitement on them is what really excites me. I get excited in the car, but I try not to get too crazy. Try to stay as professional as I can. But I don't know, just seeing everyone around you, how excited they get, that's really what gets me going. And these places are so hard. It's hard to win one Lucas race, let alone that many in consecutive nights. So we hope Garrett doesn't do it this weekend. We can at least win the next 2. But anytime anyone does something like that, like I said, not here or anywhere, it really just shows how good they really are.
Nobody's obviously, Donnie Schatz has run this event a few times. Nobody's obviously ever won the sprint car in the late model nationals. And obviously you haven't got a ton of seat time in a 410 wing sprint car, but I know you. I feel like that's floating around in the back of your mind. Is there a day where that happens?
I sure hope so. I don't know.
What does it take? What realistically can you half a season come in and do that? Does it take a full year in a 410 to be able to do it?
I think it probably takes 2 or 3 years full time. Just when you come here, the aero aspect of it, and your car has to be exactly perfect. You gotta know how to run the berm. I feel like anytime you come here, the guys that have a lot of knowledge here, like your Donnies and stuff like that, they can run the berm, they can run the cushion, they can run above the cushion. Like you gotta really know exactly what your race car needs for this place. And I feel like it's so different. I think if I could run a few seasons in a sprint car, not saying I could win, but I think maybe good enough to maybe make a show. I think for me, even if just saying, hey, I was an A-main starter, sprint car Knoxville Nationals, it would be pretty cool.
How cool did you think it was what Ryan Tibbs did this year?
Oh, it was awesome. I've known Ryan for a while, and he was parked next to me at Tulsa Shootout earlier this year. So to be able to do what he did and literally just dominate, that don't happen very often.
And then go win the Tuscarora too. It was a good run for him. All-time greatest sprint car driver, winged, is?
I feel like Donnie Schatz.
Oh, more than Steve Kinzer.
Well, and the reason why I say that is he's more my generation. Not like obviously Steve's really good, but it was before I really got to watch. So I kind of feel like it's kind of the same thing on the late model side. Like obviously Billy and Scott were good for so long, but your JDs or your Shepherds or stuff like that are more what I got to see. So I feel like it it's probably different than most.
All right, I got a question for you, and I'm going to open it up for anybody that's got any questions out there. One thing you can change about racing, I said one. One thing that you could change that you think would make the sport better.
I would say if I take the air equation out of it, you can make it where air did absolutely nothing, and I think we'd race so much better that you can do whatever you want. If you had a better car, you'd figure out a way to get by.
How can we do that with a dirt super late model? Just top line. Do you have anything in mind that you think would make the air become less of a factor?
I don't know. And if I knew the answer, I'd relay it to them. I feel like, not that we're going the exact wrong direction, but I feel like the more they take our nose away, the worse our racing is going to get. So I feel like we almost need a bigger nose and less spoiler or something like that. But I don't know. I feel like that's probably the biggest thing in racing across all aspects. Like, it don't matter if you're running a mini sprint or a stock car, whatever it is, the air is so massive anymore. Very good. All right, small room. We got big voices. So if you got something, raise a hand and ask Ricky Thornton Jr. a question here. This is a good chance. And again, I hope if you came in today and you're on the fence, look, these guys are like you. They all have bad days, and sometimes I go up and interview them, and they're in a crappy mood because I picked the wrong time to interview them. But that's also my job. And that's the one thing that Tony Stewart told me one time. He goes, earmuffs, kids. He goes, yes, I'm an asshole. He goes, but I especially shine as one. He goes, if somebody's at work and they're rebuilding a carburetor or they're rebuilding a drive shaft, and I come up and want to get in their face at a really important time, they're not going to be in the best of moods. So this is a good chance. But any questions from anybody here? Yes, sir.
For you and your team throughout the night, who has the final say on what the adjustments going to be?
I would say the final say probably comes more down to me, but we get together as a group at the same time. Just Zach's got so much knowledge, and Skyler with tires. Like, this is his first full year running with any team, and we get together and kind of talk about it. But then I would say probably the actual final say is more me than them.
Who takes more pride in being right and more pain in being wrong on the team?
Well, for the most part, it goes both ways. I feel like if I go out and do something dumb, obviously I'm the letdown of the team. And I tell them all the time, like, there's times I come in and I'm mad as can be. I'm pretty bad at throwing my steering wheel, whether it's on the dash or whatever. But what I always tell them is I'm never mad at them. I'm mad at the situation. I'm mad at something I did or something happened on the racetrack. And I'm never going to yell at my crew guys.
Zach Frills from your crew was mad at me because I implied the World 100 trophy was going to be taller than him, and he got about half an inch. But man, having a guy like Zach that's been there with Berghofer and all these guys, how crucial is that, especially on those nights where you just can't figure out what's wrong?
Probably the biggest thing is I don't have to worry about it. I can focus on the setup side. I can focus on my driving side and watching the racetrack. And if he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And that makes, I mean, realistically, every time you get in the car, you know you got that chance to wreck him. And it just makes me feel that much safer, and I trust him with whatever it's going to be. If it's putting the motor in or changing her in, whatever, like, we can go out and go with wide open the next lap and not have to think about it.
Very good. Questions, anybody? Yes, sir.
So the oldest chassis we have in our stable right now is actually pretty new. It would have been the end of last year, so playoff time last year. So actually, it probably would have been a year to this date, because after we left here last year, we went and built a new one. And then probably the car that I had the most races on would have been at SSI. It was a 2018 model, and we ran it up until I left there, and they've still ran it. So that one's probably got 300 or 400 races on it.
When you put these up for sale, one second, when you put these up for sale and they know that it's coming from you, are these a pretty easy sell, or is it harder to move used cars these days?
I feel like as a whole, it's hard to sell used cars, period, just because a lot of people look at it like, man, you got a brand new car, you got 20 races, why are you selling it? Or, hey, this car's got 400 races on it, like, why are you selling it? So, I don't know, the used market, I feel like, kind of goes up and down. Really, we only sell a car if we got a new one coming, or if you really have to.
Yes, sir.
Regardless of first or anything, what track do you like? You see on the schedule, love to race, regardless of the
I'd probably go to Alltech for $0. It's different style clay. It's like a gray style clay, super slick, super technical. It was actually the one where I had that quote earlier this year.
Yes.
But it's so technical, and if you screw up, like, you destroy a race car. Like, there's just no difference about it. But I feel like the guys that run really well, they really understand their race car and how easy it is to overstep that boundary.
We get down to speed weeks. A lot of guys struggle at Ocala, and they struggle at Alltech. This guy's smiling every day. He's like, I wish we raced at these two places more. And he needs security because the driver's looking for him. Because those are challenging places. And you made that comment this year. You said, I like places that a lot of people think are weird because I like the challenge of them. Is that just the nerd in you of not wanting to not be able to do something?
I think probably a lot of that. But at the same time, those are the places where you might not have a winning car, but you can make it a winning car just because Alltech, one lap you might run a 15-second lap, you screw up a little bit, you just ran a 17-second lap. So it's like the air side of it at some of those places we go to, you can make up or lose a lot of ground in the seat.
Questions? Anybody else? Yes, sir.
2 questions.
Okay.
What race do you want to win the most? And how close were you to possibly even starting your own team last year after everything that went down?
So I'd say the race I want to win the most is probably the Chili Bowl. And the reason why is there's so many different disciplines that go there. And I've been fortunate enough to go and been close to making the A main. I've never made the A main, but I've been in B main 3 times. So just that one, it's so crazy and it's so hard. I don't have a whole lot of experience, and so I really want to win that one. As far as building my own team, there was a slight thought of maybe doing that, but I think if I ever start my own team again and run, like it might be a modified or something like that. The downside of late models is it's just so expensive. You got to really have a lot of really good sponsors, and we've been fortunate enough where a lot of guys have went with us or with me wherever I've went. So yeah, I'd say as far as the late model side, you're probably never going to see a Thornton Motorsports or anything like that, but you never know. I got a couple micros I run every now and then, but other than that, just if it didn't cost as much, I think I would probably do it. So
Bobby Kohler actually asked this gentleman to say this. He knows or not.
I feel like I run 100 to 140 races a year, and I never really get burned out. We take a weekend off and I actually get bored. So
Yeah.
Almost like it's my job, but it doesn't really feel like a job. It's almost like I just enjoy it so much, and I'm sure I'll probably get to the point where it'll be a drag, but I figure I might as well run as much as I can while I still enjoy doing it.
As much as you like the racing and the newness, like, say, Wednesday, you never been to Hopstad, right?
Nope.
So we go to Hopstad Wednesday. Does that get you fired up, or does that make you anxious?
I'm pumped. Anytime we can go to a new racetrack, and I mean, I've watched a million sprint car races there, so like you kind of have an idea. But anytime you go to a new racetrack, there's never been a winner there for, like, obviously late models ran there, but not a flow race. So it's like you kind of want to be like the inaugural winner of the show.
So that matters to you.
I think anytime you can win an inaugural race, it kind of puts a stamp like, hey, it don't matter 30 years from now if they make a T-shirt, your name's gonna be on there.
Speaking of T-shirts, that's the perfect segue. I look around and there's obviously some Thornton shirts out here. Does it still just blow you away when you see somebody wearing a shirt with your name on it?
It does. I love it just because I still feel like I'm your normal race fan. Like, obviously I get to race and all that, but I think because I just enjoy racing so much that anytime you're out, even out here, and people are at your trailer and they want to talk to you, and, like, I love it. It's so different.
I like that. Any last questions here as we wrap up? Yes, sir. Good question.
So pretty much I ended up moving back to Iowa from Indiana. My brother lives about 20 minutes from me now. He lives here. My younger brother lives on the edge of Iowa, and my wife's family's from Iowa City. So I figured if I was gonna kind of make a home base, my kids get to school and all that, I wanted to be close to all of them. So, like I said, we're 2 hours from Iowa City. My brothers are close. I would say the next 5 years, my mom and dad will move somewhere around us. Pretty much we've all kind of abandoned Arizona, but we love it out here.
And you can race 7 nights a week. Say what you want to say. Say what you want to say. We know what it is. Jeff or Penny, did you guys have something?
I just have one. So, actually, two. So Brandon Berkey, like this late in the season with the playoffs, what are the expectations and the challenges of having spent that much experience winning and what he's done in the year, coming in this late in the season, especially that part of the time of this season?
I feel like bringing Berkey in, especially this late in the season, I think it's only going to help our team. We kind of talked before this all got going, and I kind of told him my expectations of him, and he's been an open book. Like, he knows, hey, I don't want to come in and change your program, nothing. I just want to help. I want to get through this next month with you and do what we need to do. And I mean, today he's rebuilding our fenders and all kinds of stuff. Just trying to get our car as best as we can without doing anything major. Just little tricks that he's learned. But at the same time, Zach obviously has known him forever, and he's been huge about him coming. And anytime you can get your crew guys to feel safer, I feel like that's just going to make your team even better.
Got a second one? Is it surreal as a guy that loves racing that you're over there, you're getting Terrells in your helmet, you look down, and Brian Burkhofer's working on the right front of your race car? Is that like a double take? Like, wait, oh yeah.
Well, it was kind of funny. He walked in yesterday, and like I've met him a couple times, and he's like, "Hey, it's like finally nice to like actually talk to you for more than like 30 seconds."
Wait, does he introduce himself as Brian Burkhofer to you? I mean, okay.
Well, it's Brian. I'm like, well, obviously I know who you are. But I was kind of laughing after we hot laughed. I pulled my stomach, get ready to back up, and he's standing there. He's got my Kohler Motorsports shirt on. I'm like, never really thought something like this was going to happen.
I like the thought of you getting out of the car and asking if he'll take a photo with you. That actually, I love that about that. We got time for one or two more questions. Anybody? Yes, sir.
Yeah, when did you decide to modify the eye?
So it would have been, I want to say it's 2014, 2015. I want to say it's 2015 when I brought my mod out full time. 2014, I went to North Dakota, ran the Dakota Tour, came here, ran Super Nationals and stuff like that. But then I stayed with Tim Ward in 15 and ran as much as I could. We ran 147 races that year. So the crazy part is I felt like I ran about 30. Like, it was just one of those, you did it every day, so you didn't really think about it.
So the day never ended. It was one continuous race day.
And the one thing what I liked about when you come to Iowa, like I was running Oskaloosa, Marshalltown, Boone, Stewart, well, all those places you had designated pit stalls. So it didn't matter if you showed up at 2 o'clock or at 6 o'clock, like you had your pit stall, where usually in Arizona, like there's no concrete, no desert, like nasty, so you get there at 1 or 2 o'clock to get a decent spot. So I feel like that side of Iowa is so much different that you can show up later in the day and you know you got your pit spot and really be good.
Are you a 1 minute late or a 1 hour early kind of guy?
Oh, I'm always early. I hate being late.
That does not surprise me. Anybody else? Some great questions, by the way. Has anybody else got anything? Yes, sir.
When did you start racing? What was your first car?
So 2005, I ran a factory stock, which would be like a hobby stock now. Ran that up until 2007, then I got the modified. Ran a modified from 2007 to 2020. I ran a late model 2009, 2010, part of 2011, and then off and on up until 2018. I finished the season with SSI. 2018, 2019, I can't remember. I think it's 2019, and then late model full time from 21 on.
Who's somebody in the IMC, or we talked about Dallin Murdy up and coming, but who's somebody that, if there's a team owner out there looking that, not named Dallin Murdy, that you think the world should be paying attention to? There's only going to be 8,000 IMCA guys mad at you, but who's somebody you think is under the radar and they shouldn't be?
Troy Morris.
Troy Morris.
And
California?
I don't know if it's the West Coast thing.
I mean, okay, pick somebody from east of the Mississippi River, Thornton. Come on, man.
But I feel like he's one super aggressive. Not a whole lot of people like him, but
Wait, are you relating to this, or are you?
I mean, maybe. But like, he's worked hard for everything. He works on his own cars. He actually just got a late model. He's gonna run some late model stuff. I'm a big advocate. If you show up, you're working on your car, you're trying. I don't care if you won or ranked it. That's the guy I want to work with.
Like that. Anybody else? Well, oh, yes, sir.
Well, if you ask a lot of people, I don't work on it at all. But no, so like we'll leave here. I'll go to the shop. I'll work on it. Zach takes care of all the maintenance stuff. Normally, I do a lot of the body stuff. We have a guy at the shop that does body work too. But essentially, at the shop, I get all shocks and springs off, get those set, and then just help the guys with whatever they need. I try to be there as much as I can. Obviously, with the family side, I'll leave a couple days early, head home for a day or two, and then go wherever we're racing. But I still enjoy working on them. I feel like anymore you're working within a 16th or a 32nd of something's got to be perfect. So I try to work on it every day and go from there.
I just started working on trashed up modifieds.
As a team owner speaks out to that. Well, I tell you what, fantastic today. A lot of great questions. How about a round of applause getting your new Knoxville track record holder, Ricky Thornton Jr. Guys, like he said, if he's not busy in the pits, this guy's highly approachable. Photos, the whole 9 yards. He gets it. We appreciate all you guys being here. He and I would have no jobs if you didn't support.
That was Ricky Thornton Jr. and Ben Shelton. Also, we would like to send our condolences to the Bobby Allen family as Bobby passed away last night. And on the next time we get together will be September, October results. And always be sure to check out the Facebook, Twitter pages, YouTube at Marshall Haynes. Thanks for listening to another edition of the Dirt Racing Podcast. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Dirt Racing Podcast with Marshall Haynes. Follow us on Twitter at Dirt_Podcast or on Facebook at the Dirt Racing Podcast.